Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Banai Krishna Shrimati Radha Samagiti Namine Hare Krishna. So, thank you, dear devotees, for spending your valuable time. For today's class, I have prepared with Radhesham Prabhu's lecture on the same topic, qualities of Shri Rama from he had given it in the Hyderabad temple, ISKCON Hyderabad, couple of years ago. And also what I've done is I've done something like crowdsourcing. You know crowdsourcing, right? So I have asked all of you, many of you are on this forum. I had sent a little note, please, in 3 words, not sentences, nothing, just 3 words that come to mind when you think of Lord Rama, what qualities. So many devotees responded. So we will see, the qualities of Lord Rama as described by Narad Muni to Valmiki when they were having this dialogue. And then also what all of you have put together, you all put together about 78 qualities of Lord Rama, 12 of which were repeats. So, still we have 56 unique and 12 which are repeats. So, what we'd like to do then is go through this, yeah. And any questions, this is going to be an interactive session. So if you have any question, any comment, please unmute yourself. And as the presentation goes through, please ask or, voice your comment and realization. It will be really appreciated. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, Ramayan Katha. To give you a little bit of background, Lord Rama is very, very, very close to my heart, very close. Growing up in Mumbai, I have a younger brother, 2 years younger than I am. And we used to grow up, we grew up playing uh, make believe. I'm Rama and he's Lakshman, and we used to fight these imaginary dragons. And if those of you who are from India, you get something called a jhadu. It's like a broom, but it is just those thin sticks that you have. So we used to make bows, with a sewing thread as the string. That's what used to be a bow, and with those jhaduka sticks, we used to be shooting arrows. So that's what we did. In fact, one of the first bhajan I learned was this Ayodhya Vasi Ram Ram. I must have been about maybe 6 years or so, over 50 years ago. Learned this bhajan, Ayodhya Vasi Ram Ram. And Diwali had always, is still always, great, great excitement, great festival. And then, of course, coming into ISKCON, following the practices, got a deeper understanding and appreciation for who Lord Rama is, which is just beyond the traditional Hindu household of who Lord Rama is. So, I'm blessed also. Many years back, we used to do this internet radio, and we used to read the Ramayan uh, in the evening at 8 o'clock on that radio. And not many would, almost no one would join. It was just, me and the Ethernet. However, once it was very surprising, one Mataji from Bosnia, this must have been around late 90s, early 2000s. Some lady from Bosnia, she sent a message that, I'm reading these, I'm listening to this radio station, and it's so fascinating to know who Lord Rama is. And then, of course, a couple of times on the internet Zoom forum, we have been doing a reading of the Ramayan by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. So yes, Ramayana is very, very, very special and very, very close to my heart personally. And I'll try my best to share different realizations from different Vaishnavas and all of you, what you all have shared. Okay, so Hare Krishna. Okay, so basics. Before we get into this, let's, reiterate our understanding. Most of you would know this, but if you don't, then this is an opportunity to learn something new. What is Ramayana? It's a compound word made up of Rama and Ayana. Rama, we know, is the Treta Yuga avatar of Sri Krishna, the original, the avatari, and everyone else is an avatar. And Rama means the reservoir of all bliss, correct? So whatever joy, happiness, bliss that we experience, that source is Rama. And Ayana means the journey or the movement. So Ramayana means the journey of the Lord. Now, journey means what? Journey means from one place to another place. Now, of course, we know that, he appeared in the holy land of Ayodhya. And, he traveled all the way. He went down south and then he went to Lanka and then he came back. Shri Ram, correct? Journey. That was the journey. But there's another journey of Lord Rama, and that journey is how we bring him into our heart, how we bring him into our consciousness. Lord Ramchandra, he's waiting. He's waiting for us. All it requires is the use of a free will. And it's so simple. Believe me, it is so simple. Just once, only once, if with all sincerity and with love, we say, Hey Rama, I am yours. He comes into our heart. He comes into our heart, his journey, right? So Ramayana is the journey of the Lord. Now it is an ityas, as um, Radha Krishna Prabhu was explaining. We have two things called Itihas, and then you also have something called the Purana, Bhagavad Amala Purana. So Itihas is actually, it was written whilst these events were unfolding, whilst it's happening. So if you look at a game, the analogy is it could be the live telecast, so to say. And Purana is a replay after it has happened, correct? Then it was noted down. So Itihas and Purana, you know this, it is 24,000 verses, and there are these different chapters. Yesterday, Mataji so nicely covered the Uttara Kanda. Yeah. Now, the major, many, many, many personalities are there in Ramayana. But the main characters are, of course, Bhagwan Ram. He's no different than Krishna himself. So, there is the pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Mahaprabhu, displays his Sadbhuj, six-handed form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And the six-handed form is simultaneously he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a sannyasi. So in his hands, he has the articles of the sannyasi danda, and he appears as Lord Rama with bow and arrow, and he appears as Krishna, in the three bending form with his flute. Yeah. So what it says, the tattva, is that there's no difference in Rama, in Krishna, and in Chaitanya. They're all three the same. And how Prabhu was explaining this is tattva is the same, however, still there's a difference in the rasa, meaning to say that the principle is the same, yet there is a difference in the rasa. And the example he gave is that if you have mathematics, so let's say you take two apples and you add another two apples, you get four apples. You take three mangoes and you add another three mangoes, you get six mangoes. You take two bananas and you take two bananas, you get four bananas. Yeah, there are four. Like the principle has remained same. The operation of addition, tattva of mathematics has remained same, whatever be the case. However, the juices and the taste is different. You understood, dear devotees? So this is what is simultaneously oneness and difference, not just with us and Krishna and Bhagwan himself, but also different avatars. Tattva is the same. However, the rasa is different. So Rama came as the ideal human being, and his mother Sita, his wife, she came as the wife, which literally means a plow. You know the pastime that Janak Maharaj in the field, and that's where she appeared from. Lakshman means fortune, one who is fortunate. Why is Lakshman fortunate? Is it because he was the king of an extremely wealthy land called Ayodhya, a prince of that place? No. Usually, when we talk about fortune, we think about wealth, we think about things, we think about net worth, we think about possessions, we think about this, that, all that stuff. But the real fortune is service, seva to Krishna and Krishna's. It's only very fortunate for whatever good pious deeds that you've done, that one gets the opportunity to get engaged directly in the service of Krishna, of Rama. Krishna, same thing. Yeah. So Lakshmana, his good fortune was he had so many opportunities, constant companion of Sri Ram. And Hanuman is, what it means is the one who has a misaligned or a disfigured jaw. The pastime Indra threw the thunderbolt and, as a baby, so his mouth, this jaw structure was disfigured. So Hanuman. And Ravan was the demon. He's the villain in this pastime. He's the villain who abducted Mother Sita. Ravan means one who cries all the time, crying. And he epitomizes lust. So, what we can learn from this name is that, if we are lusty people, all it will end up is in tears. There will be temporary pleasure that we may get. Now, lust people usually is synonymous with sexual activity. But yes, so it is so. It's a very strong desire, but an intense desire for sense gratification is lust. And that only ends in tears, nothing else. Hare Krishna. So why does he come? Why? Why does Lord Rama, why do the avatars come? So here there is the description. We need to refer to the Shastras, whenever we are trying to understand topics which is beyond the capacity of the mind. If you really want to get into it, not superficially, but really deeply, then you need to refer to the Shastras. You need to refer to the Guru, the sadhus, the specialists in this area who know what it is rather than just do concoction and opinions and things like that. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, Swayam Bhagwan himself says, right, whenever there is the rise of irreligion, that's when I come. Then 4.8 Paritranaya Sadhunam. Yeah. That's when I come to establish the religious principles and annihilate the miscreants. And then mother thing is that whatever a great man performs, common men follow. So it is our nature, somewhat what you may call the herd mentality. What is this herd mentality? Herd mentality is one is safety in numbers, and other is that there is a level of security. So you see in the wild a baby, let's say a baby wildebeest, yeah, it doesn't really know the ways of the world, and there are always the predators who are, and they always go for the young and the weak. So what happens is when they sense the adults, they sense that there's danger, they just start running. The little wildebeest, the baby wildebeest doesn't question, oh, why are you running this side? What happened? No, it just instinctively follows, the mother wherever it is. So similarly, we also as human beings, because we're social animals, okay, we also, when we see great men, the activities that it inspires us. And then we also follow. So that's why Lord Rama comes in over here in line with what the Shastra, Bhagavad Gita says. And he comes, as an ideal Purusha, human being. He comes as the ideal man, how that person should behave. And by his examples, he leaves this behind for everybody to follow. And that's what we'll see his character, and then how we'd be able to adopt it in our day-to-day lives. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Okay, so we move on to the next thing. Now, please understand, Shri Ram has unlimited qualities. He is unlimited, he is infinite. By definition, God is infinite. If God is finite, that means he is not God. We are infinitesimal. He is infinite. Whatever aspect, he is infinite. We just know a few names of him. So, for example, Vishnu, Sahasranams, 1,000 names of Vishnu. Okay, 1,000. But unlimited name, Sheshanag, with unlimited hoods, is just singing his glories, and it hasn't even ended since beginning of time. It hasn't even ended. So whatever is there for Bhagwan is always, you can say, expanding. So his forms, his names, his pastime, his paraphernalia, everything. However, for us to get some sense of a direction, now Narad Muni, a great devotee of the Lord, he and Valmiki, the author, his disciple who wrote the Ramayan, Valmiki had the question, and he asked these questions to him, which would outline that who's the perfect person. So when he said, who's this perfect person, Narad Muni then started explaining who it is. So I'll request some devotee, if you can start from the top, benevolent to all living beings. If each one of you could just read any one of each one of it, and then we'll go in a clockwise direction, akin to how we do Aarti of Bhagwan. So, or rather, we'll from here.
Sarva Bhuteshu Shitayo.
Hmm.
Benevolent to all living
Thank,
things.
thank you. Next one, please.
Gunavan, principal, virtuous.
Hmm. Next.
Bibyati Devascha, feared by even Devas.
Please continue. Next.
Dyutiman, brilliant.
Next.
Anashukya, non-jealous.
Thank you. Next.
Satyavaka, truthful.
Okay. Okay. Prabhu, you can go to the next one.
Samarthaha, competent, blessed.
Thank you. Next.
Vidwan, adept, knows everything.
Next.
Chaitrena, Charitrena Yuktaha, good character, excellent behavior.
Next.
Atmavan, courageous, self-composed.
Next, please.
Jita Krodha, mastered in anger. Mastered his anger.
Next, please.
Grateful.
I'm sorry, Prabhu, you broke off. Could you read it again, please?
Yes. Grateful.
Good. Next one, please.
Vidyavan, vigorous.
Next.
Dradha Bharta, determined.
Determined. Nice. Next.
Darbhagya, conscientious, diligent.
Yeah. Next one.
Priyadarshana, extremely handsome to look.
So, thank you everyone. We just did a nice arti of Shri Ramchandra by glorifying all these qualities which he has. Thank you for that. So, again, keep this in mind that these are just the 16, which anyway shows perfection, correct? Now, we may have one or maybe a few of this, and that too in very, very, very limited quantity. So if you let's take extremely handsome to look at. Now they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, correct? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That means what one person finds beautiful, someone else may not think so, the same way as that person thinks, yeah? However, with Bhagwan, with Rama, that's not the case. Everyone finds him beautiful. It's not relative. Oh, I think like this. And no, it is absolute over there. Now, the beauty which we have over here, this physical body, yeah, as we age, it starts to droop, and teeth fall out, uh, hair falls out, whatever else. We know what happens with aging. And what earlier used to be the youth, the luster of youth, that just fades away into age. But no, this is not the case. You extremely handsome to look at, and each one of these qualities of um, Lord Rama is complete. It's not that it's not half full or 3/4 or 90% or 99%. It's full, completely, complete, total. Yeah. So these are the qualities of Shri Ram. Hare Krishna. So, I had outsourced what I was telling you, not outsourced, crowdsourced. So I sent to many of you devotees, and not just the ICNJ congregation, also I tapped into my old schoolboys network, my college buddies, my friends whom I grew up with when we were about 5, 6 years old. Thanks to WhatsApp, everyone, and Facebook, everyone has come together. So this is what, different people, and it was a good cross section from a child like Om, one of our students in Sunday school, Ved, the 10-year-old, all the way up to, senior citizens. Ask them this 3 words you would use to describe Lord Rama. Interestingly, even my Catholic friends from another religion, in fact, one of them, uh, instead of 3, he just went on to 6 spontaneously. He listed 6 characters which he feels about Lord Rama. Hindus, I put Hindus in quotation mark because there's no such thing as Hindu. Hindu is a misnomer, the actual word is Sanatani, Sanatan Dharma, followers of Sanatan Dharma. And even there's an agnostic person who just shrugs the shoulder and says, I'm not sure whether God exists. How can I say for sure God doesn't exist? So even that person, we asked, what do you think about when you think of Lord Rama? Whatever what words could you use to describe him? So this is what, the overview of what happened. And a total of 78 qualities they shared. And, if we had a little bit more time, I think it would have easily gone up to 108. So this is just 27 people whom we reached out to. Now, something very interesting. So these are the different qualities and the different people who shared this. We also had a couple of politicians, of course, childhood friends who are now pretty senior politicians in the Maharashtra politics. So there's this. I really found this one interesting, what you see over here. So he was being a little, I won't use the word flippant, but he's a very witty person. And he used the word dhan, dhana, dhan. Now, if you know the colloquial, Hindi colloquial, it is something which, ki, Josh say, vigorously is what you can do. dhan dhanadhan, or in Punjabi they say chak de fatte. So like dhan dhanadhan, he used the word to describe Ravan. And then Rama. And then we see in the pastime when Ravan was fighting the demons, 14th, when he was in the forest, 14,000 Rakshasas came and single-handedly he vanquished them all. One after the other, the arrows he was shooting, Dandanadan style. So this is what, an overview. Really, really, really very nice. Never gives up. Om. Compassionate. This other little kid, Ved, courageous, humble, wise. Ved also on Sunday gave a nice presentation to the Swaminarayan temple on who Lord Rama is. So that video his parents have taken. And if you're interested, I could send you a link. So what this shows is, Prabhu's Mataji, that Rama is not a Hindu god. God is God. God is not Hindu, Christian, Muslim. We are the ones who make all these Hindu, Muslim, Christian. There is a purpose why you have different faith, because, different people, the way they understand and how they perceive and how they could engage in a relationship with God, you have different methods. So, you really cannot say that Islam is better than Christianity, is better than Hinduism, or is better than whatever it is. So that is being very ignorant. So Ram is Ram, he's Bhagwan. Yeah, he's Bhagwan for everybody. Whether you're an atheist, whether you're a Rakshasa, whether you believe, you don't believe, whether you're a Sanatan Dharma follower or not, Ram is Ram for everyone. And he loves everybody. He loves everybody. So all these qualities that we have over here, those 16, actually these map into the 16. If you see over here, it's just how they expatiated it differently. So this is who Lord Ramchandra is. Hare Krishna. Now, these are some, the ideal person, what you call the Maryada Purushottam, that people recollect the most. So there were 9 instances of ideal person. So you see that 9, 6 for obedient, compassionate, humility. And then there were a bunch of 2s, being truthful, Ramrajya, courageous, um, very forgiving, very, very forgiving. Ravan on the battlefield, the night before he was killed, Ram had completely vanquished him. Ram Bhagwan told him, "Theek hai, Ravan, you're exhausted. Go, come back tomorrow." Now, come back tomorrow, Radhesham Prabhu explains is not that, okay, I'll recoup and I'll get my strength back and I'll come and fight again. Actually is, bring a transformation of our heart. And similarly, here is a lesson for us, lifetimes, countless lifetimes. We are going through the cycle of birth, old age, disease, death. That's what we have been doing, banging our head here and there, in the state of misery. Prabhupada has said, right, temporary cessation of misery is what we call happiness. Searching for that ever elusive happiness here and there, we are running, not finding it, getting little glimpses of it. That's what we have been doing. And abhi thak gaye. It's tiring. All of us are so tired. So that is fine. We've done that, been there, done that, tried that, everything, coming with a whole baggage of whatever it is that we carry with us, in this lifetime and previous lifetime, a baggage of karma. Doesn't matter. Lord Rama says, come back, come back with a clean, open heart, and he'll take it. And again, going back to what we spoke earlier, just to open your heart here to say, "Hey Ram, I'm yours." Hare Krishna. Anyone has a comment or a question? Okay. So this we just covered. It's only a pictorial representation. You see here, the picture shows Mother Shabri offering Rama bear. Bear is a type of a fruit. So what a simple ascetic lady living in the forest, what can she offer? She can't make samosas. or gulab jamun. But what she did is with love. Bhagavad Gita, it says, na, patram pushpam phalam toyam, yo me bhaktya prayachiti, tad aham bhakti uparitam, asnami prayatatmana. What is he looking for? All he looks for is just that gesture of an offering, if it's foodstuff, with love. Love is the operative word. So what she was doing is she's saying, my Rama has come after so long. So she used to bite that bear and taste it, because sometimes the bear could be really sour or kind of uh, bitter, it can be. And she wanted to give the best to Lord Rama. She wanted, that was her desire. What does she have? She just has these wild berries and bear which she has picked up from the forest. But she wanted to give the best to him, so she was biting. There's a saying in Hindi called jhuta, meaning it's contaminated, right? Now, when you go to the deity altar, you have a bath, you don't eat anything, you don't touch your mouth or face or anything, because considered contaminated. We need to maintain a certain level of deity standard of hygiene, of cleanliness next to godliness. Why? Because we still do not have that level of consciousness where, spontaneously that love within us can be expressed. So you get this training, and then finally you reach to at that particular stage. But Shabarima, she was totally in love with Lord Rama. And look at Rama, he ate Shabari's jhuta. He ate Shabari's jhuta. He's Bhagwan, Swayam Bhagwan. He's Swayam Bhagwan. So this shows his humility. This shows his greatness, his compassion. So many of these, his kindness. Okay, this is what who Rama is. Now you see this picture. Rama is green in color. So I have a question for you all. Does anyone know why Lord Ramchandra is green? Krishna is Shyam Sundar, the color of the dark blue, dark gray rain cloud. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is golden complexion. Why is Rama green? Excuse me. So we asked this question last Sunday to our Sunday school kids, and one child gave a great answer. See how literally child is the father of man. See how a child thinks. Whatever they hear, they see, they observe, they absorb. So that kid said, he said, Prabhuji, Rama is God. He's green because he wants to be green. It's really profound, this statement. He's God. He's green because he wants to be green. Is there anything which can stop him from anything? Nothing. Thy will be done. He is God. There is no limitation there. For you and I, of course, if we want to be green, we'll have to do something external, put some body paint or something, and that will also wash off after some time. Even tattoos fade away with time. But with Rama, this is how the child understands who God is, that depth of understanding. Of course, I'm sure I myself don't know the answer. I've been trying to find it, but not getting an answer. But I'm pretty certain, I have to um, reach out to some senior Vaishnavas, maybe anyone on this forum who would know why Lord Rama is green. It'll be a
Hare
good.
Krishna Prabhuji,
Ah,
Dandavat Pranam. One of the reason that I had come across is because he glorified the Aranya, the forest. I don't know, like there could be other things, but somehow some people connect it with the forest also.
okay. So I'll make a mental note of that, and I'll ask. It very well could be the reason, but whenever we are finding for this, there are many explanations given. But if we want to have a sure shot, fail-proof, correct answer, we have to go to Guru Sadhu Shastra. So yes, but that's interesting what you have said. Thanks for sharing that, Mataji. Anyone else has any other answer or realization?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I'm trying to recall. Actually, I heard once like there is one common reason about Lord Shiva being blue, and with the Krishna or the Lord Vishnu, like with that stone is dark colored. Like for the deities, it's chosen, and with same thing with the Lord Rama. Like why their complexion or why it's darker than the other surrounding or like one common reason, but I know about the Lord Shiva because he had that poison when that
Right.
Samudra Manthan happened.
Yeah.
And my like what I think, like lords, they have that ability to consume all the toxicity of the world, and they protect. I can I can say that's my understanding just based on Lord Shiva's answer. I know why it's blue, and I heard once in some speech why all these lords they have some darker like complexion, or that's how we like worship them.
Yeah, dark, not necessarily it's restricted only to dark, like you have even Varahadev. There's a Shukla in the boar avatar. He's white, and also in another Kalpa, he comes as a red color boar. So, but yes, you're right, Mataji. Shiva, when he drank that poison, halal, and he held it here on his, in fact, one of his names is Neelkantha. Neel.
Yes, Prabhuji.
He held it here. Thanks, Mataji, for sharing that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. And I
So,
know there is something common, same thing with Lord Rama and same thing with the Lord Vishnu about that Thakurji, that dark stone that we worship.
the of course, we do, in pictures he's painted as uh, he has this complexion green color, but yes, he is greenish hue is what Rama has his original complexion. Now in the temples we have deities, etc., and there would be many deities which could be of marble, white. It could be of
Yes.
glass. It could be of, different different materials can be used, but in Ayodhya Dham, spiritual planet, this is
Yes.
Lord Ramchandra. So what I will request, we have about 30, 40 devotees. If you could just also put in your effort, and it will be a good exercise to see why Lord Rama is green in color. What is that significance? So it'll be a nice
Good homework, Prabhuji. Yes, Hare Krishna. I will try to do.
I appreciate it. You find your answer. If everyone is on the Japathon group or, Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya, or, you could reach out to any one of us and we will be able to post it to everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna. Sure.
for that. So now, we come to this thing called best practices. So why have best practices? Why should we adopt these qualities of Ram Bhagwan? One person will say, oh, wo to Bhagwan hai. I am just a tiny, insignificant thing. What? I won't be able to do what all he did. How could you expect me to do? Yeah, defeatist attitude. What can we do? I think it was Napoleon or someone who said, impossible is a word in the dictionary of fools. But why should we do it? You need to have a reason, because when we have a reason, okay, when we understand something, then our lagan, or what is the word for lagan in English? The enthusiasm, okay, of how we go about, how we approach it, we'll do it nicely. So we have these qualities of Sri Rama. So I'll give an outline, and then if time permitting, we can get into details and deconstruct for a particular quality what we can do. So here's an overview, then we can drill down, okay? So here is why. Why should we have it? So first thing to understand is when we're talking about these qualities to imbibe, it is do not imitate, but follow in the footsteps of great personalities. So what's the difference between imitation and following in the footsteps? So we know nowadays all these young Bollywood people, they want to be the, how do you say, the wannabe Salman Khan, Salman Bhai. So this very popular actor, he wears a bracelet, if you see, which has a blue color, some stone over here. And you'll see even the roadside Romeos, they'll also be wearing this, because, अरे वो पहनेगा तो मैं सलमान जैसा दिखेगा. Things like that. That's imitation. So Jayadwath Maharaj was asked this question. Maharaj, what's the difference between imitation and following in the footsteps? He gave a very simple answer. He says, imitation is when you are mimicking the form, external, the form, whereas following is where you are obeying the instructions of that personality. That's the difference. So we should not imitate, we should follow in the footsteps of the great personality. Hare Krishna. Then it comes to we need to get knowledge, correct? When you get knowledge, what knowledge does is it empowers us to do the right thing rather than doing things right. Doing things right is an iterative process, trial and error. And we really do not know how much time we have. We think we live forever. We behave as though we're going to live forever, but literally the next moment, Maharaj, Ramapad Maharaj says, there will be a day you get up from bed and you won't go back to sleep in that, or you'll be sleeping and you won't get up from that bed. That is death. Okay, we do not know. So there has to be that urgency. So when we have this transcendental knowledge, it empowers us to do the right thing instead of trying to do things right by trial and error. Then there is this fact we need to understand. Jivera Swarupaha, Krishnera Nitya Das. We are part and parcel. Our eternal constitution position, the essence of the spirit soul is always service. And we can see it in our lives. We are either serving our own senses, we are serving our own desires, or extensions of ourselves. I, me, myself, mine. We're always serving, but actually the soul being a part is meant to serve the whole. It is a part of Krishna. Krishna is that infinite whole. We are the infinitesimal part. So part is meant to serve the whole. So if we have and we can understand this fact, right, and if we can internalize it, correct, when we connect with the whole, there is harmony. And when this body, mind, and soul, right now, that's kind of out of sync, you can say. You have the body, the gross body, the subtle body of the mind, intelligence, ego, and then the soul, correct? The soul is a foreign entity. This body is all matter, the soul is spirit. However, soul has all these desires. So whatever are these desires, the body goes and enacts those desires out, and the soul gets some kind of a flickering temporary pleasure. But when the soul understands who it is, then the desires also, okay, it has the proper type of desire. People usually think spirituality means abhi sab kuch chhod ke Himalaya mein baitho aur udhar, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om karo. No, that is not what is spirituality. I mean, Bhagavad Gita was spoken on a battlefield, where there was bloodshed and gore and tremendous violence. And Arjun was completely dejected. He didn't want to fight. He put his Gandiva down. And what did Krishna tell him? Fight. You have to fight. So even fighting something which is violence can be an act of devotional service. So dear devotees, please understand this. Devotional service, any activity is neutral. It is neither karmic or neither is it akarmic, like devotional service. The intent and the purpose and the result for whose benefit it is, that's what determines whether it is binding, karmic, or it is liberating, akarmic. So if it is for Krishna and Krishna's, then it is a karma. If it is anything other than these two, it is karmic, the same very thing. So you eat, you need food to exist. Offer bhoga, that becomes prasadam. I may be a vegetarian, yeah, but I'm still implicated in the sin of taking the life form. That plant is also a life form. Of course, not as serious as an animal because there are different levels of consciousness, but all the same, there is that sin. We're literally eating sin. So have bhoga. So like this, when we mind, body, and soul gets aligned, then whatever the results, they are lasting. And lasting, we're talking not of this lifetime of whatever decades or whatever is this lifetime the soul has, but lasts. It lasts forever and ever. Hare Krishna. What happens is, while still in this process, it breaks the cycle. all what we do is temporary solution to permanent problem. Actually, whatever solutions you see that we come up with the material world is simply a gateway for some other problem. Matter of time before it happens, right? Whatever, look at whatever that you're doing is it'll create a problem somewhere else. So they're just gateways. So this is what happens when the body, mind, and soul is aligned. You know that I'm serving, it's connected, Jivera Swarup Hoy. You start walking it back, and if you see, everything is falling like dominoes in place. So properly situated, aligned to purpose of human life. That's what we are when you get into this path of following the best practices. So what is my real purpose? What is my goal? When we were kids, we were told that, oh, you need to have a good job. Oh, you need to get this career. Oh, and my time when I was growing up, there were only three professions: engineer, doctor, or MBA is what is required. So actually, our education system is we do not teach our children to be happy. We teach our children to be wealthy, because there is this notion that wealth is an enabler which would be able to enable, it would enable our desires for sense gratification. So obviously, more money you have, there are many more ayashi that we can get engaged in. What a false premise that is. In fact, the higher economic strata, income group, they are really, really miserable, really, really miserable. I had the good fortune to go to South India for my further studies, and very intimate with the family, very simple, pretty poor. They didn't have any furniture in the house, but so happy with what they have. My Guru Maharaj says, happiness is not what you have, happiness is what you can do without. So if you have a Bentley, great, good for you. But if you don't have a Bentley, you should not lose sleep over it. Bentley is not your goal to say, I have arrived. Anyway, we work like dogs and cats, okay, to get things, okay, to show off to people who anyway would criticize us or be jealous of us. Yeah. So properly situated, we understand what the purpose of our life is, and then we get closer to Rama and develop whatever is that love which is there in here, it expresses itself, and then you break the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death, and go back to where we have come from. I don't know if you people know this song of Beatles. Jojo was, who thought he was a learner. Get back to where you once belonged. Of course, that is a mundane song, but whenever it comes on the radio, always think, get back to where you once belonged, and we belong with Rama. We are not the denizens of this place. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Okay, so we understood.
Guruji, you said describing the 3 words, the Ram for a devotee is the best answer.
Huh?
You have said 3 words for the Ram to describe.
Yeah.
So what was the best answer?
Everyone was the best answer. Because Rama, Mataji, Rama is like sweet. He's like an ice cream cone. So that ice cream cone, whether we taste it from this side, this side, it's sweet. It is sweet. So, the best answer for me, all of them are the best answer. And each one has its own flavor. And each devotee, what it told me is each devotee, that's the special relation that that devotee has with Krishna. Whether that person is a Catholic, whether, he's an agnostic, whether he's a person who's in Krishna consciousness, following the regulative principles, this, that, whether Brahmana or not initiated doesn't matter. Rama transcends all these things, and he has that relation. So this is what they felt. I mean, there were so many things that they could have said, and whatever little bit or whatever lot that they know about Rama, this is how they expressed, this is who Rama is to me. So yes, Mataji, the understanding is that each Each and every one is special. Each and every one is special. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
This Hare Krishna. So now, how do you adopt these best practices? Simple answer is Bhakti Yoga. That's a very simple answer. In the morning, we had discussed this. So for those of you who were in the Bhagavatam slide, it may be a repetition, but never mind. There are quite a few who weren't there. Humble request, if you get the time, please join Bhagavatam. Please join Bhagavatam in the morning. It starts at 6:30. It's only for half an hour. And it really, really is a game changer. I know how it has transformed. Of course, I have a long, long way to go. But please join Bhagavatam classes every Monday to Friday morning. It's there. And on Sunday. Sunday, there are special guests. So sannyasis and very senior Vaishnavas come and share their realizations on the Sangha. And Sunday, it's a little bit longer for 1 hour. So the first thing, how you adopt is you be aware. We need to be aware. We are just going through the motions of life. We are breathing apparatus. In oxygen, out carbon dioxide. And between that time, we're doing stuff. Okay, ye karne ka hai, wo karne ka hai, I have to pay my bills. I have this meeting, I have that report. This is to be done. Oh, the flush is not working. Whatever. And with all these things, we have put blinders on us, like how the horse, he just has this blinder over here. And there is so much of wonder, there's so much of beauty all around us. This is there waiting for us. And sad thing is, all of us are so caught up, as I was saying this morning, for those of you who take the public transportation system, and you stand at the platform or you're waiting, sitting in the train, there are so many, a sea of humanity. And the beauty is each person is unique. Each person is an individual, right? Each person knows something that you do not know anything about. Nothing, zilch. Zero, nada, nothing you know about that. Would we bother making conversation with that person? No, because he is with his mobile gadget, I am with my mobile gadget, and we are more interested in an inanimate object and whatever digital images are flashing at us rather than a live human being sitting beside me. And now it has become such that it would be considered rude. Oh, don't invade my privacy. Privacy for what? Privacy to indulge in my sense gratification, where I would rather be spending time. And that is happening not just with strangers, it's happening in our relationships. There are more screens in a home than there are people. Think about it. Do an inventory. Each one in the family will have a telephone. What do you call that? Mobile device. Each person will have his own computer. Each person in his room at least would have a television screen. And then in the family room, or a den, there'll be a big television screen. So what is happening? We are cutting down. We are becoming islands. We are becoming islands rather than us. Human is a social being. We are cutting this thing, everything, total. And people now don't even want to speak. They want to send text messages, so impersonal. How impersonal. You look at this, even on our forum, we keep our videos shut off. Of course, we can understand if someone is cooking or having prasadam, multitasking, that is fine. But majority of us keep it shut. And if you actually drill down as to why is this phenomenon? There are so many. I know Giriraj Swami, he will always request, please open. I'm guilty of this because, multitasking, as we say, doing this thing. But we need to be more aware. We are running through life in this direction. Life is running in the opposite direction. It's all a blur till one fine morning. We won't get up from the bed we've gone to sleep in, or we won't go back to sleep in the bed. Game over. So be aware. Hare Krishna. Next is humility. Humility. And then we need to be serving all the time. So keep these three things. It's like those pillars. And then we'll be able to adopt these best practices of Ramchandra's quality, Shri Ram's qualities in us. So how to be awareness? Awareness comes when we read, study, discuss, correct? Prabhupada said, surrender with intelligence. Don't surrender your intelligence. So don't do it superficially. Ramapad Maharaj was asked, what's the use of studies? And anyway, all this philosophy goes above my head. It's too complicated. I'd rather be serving. I'd rather cook for the deities. I'd rather wash pots or whatever it is, because service is king. Yes, service is king. End of the day, all this knowledge is meant so that we can serve. Yeah, bhakti means loving, devotional service. But why do you need to do this? So Maharaj says you need to do this so that we do it properly. Otherwise, it is all haphazard. Otherwise, it is knee-jerk. Otherwise, it is, I may be doing it in the wrong manner. Okay? So here's what it is. Awareness. Then next comes is the humility. So humility, there's the pastime. Once a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he offered Dandvat to Prabhupada, and with a lot of enthusiasm, he exclaimed, Srila Prabhupada, I'm your most humble devotee, or most obedient, sorry, I'm your most obedient devotee, disciple. So Prabhupada looked down at him and he said, you're the most of nothing. So always keep in mind, you're the most of nothing. But that most of nothing is not from a position of weakness, not an inferiority complex. It is a proper understanding that whatever it is, I don't have anything which is my own. Whatever it is, is just, there are so many others who have a hand in it, people whom we know, and even, things beyond our understanding. So Bhakti Tirth Maharaj says, don't think less of yourself, think more of others. All the time, this mind of ours is thinking about I, me, myself, mine. How I can keep furthering my cause over here. So when I'm mindful, correct, I develop an attitude of gratitude which dismantles arrogance. I need to be mindful, observe things, be thoughtful. Why like this? Why not like that? Drill down, keep going through it. And there's so much, believe me, there's so much that we can look at. Hare Krishna. Service, yeah. So service is, I studied in a parochial school run by the Jesuit priests in Mumbai. Shout out to my Victoria buddies. So they shared their understanding of Lord Rama, which I showed you over here. So there is this prayer. It's a Christian prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Thy will be done. जो आपका है, बस तू ही तू, बस तू ही तू. That's what it is. Thy will be done. Having that kind of an attitude, And there was another song that hymn that we had learned is all that I am, all that I do, all that I ever have, I offer now to you. Take and sanctify these gifts in thy honor, Lord, knowing that in serving you is enough reward of all that I am. Now, this is, if we put a designation or if we put a boundary around it, we'll say, this is a Christian prayer. Oh, yeah, Christian prayer. How is it any different than what we learn with our Vaishnavas over here? The Vaishnava prayers, so many of those that we sing. Serving you is enough reward. There is so much to learn from this. It's not just the tune and melody. Serving you is enough reward. Do not go to Bhagwan asking for this and that. He's not your order supplier. You are his servant. He's not your servant. He willingly becomes your servant when you surrender and have love for him. That is his greatness. You're all the time, Bhagwan, I want this, I want that. Little things. In Hindi, in a Bombay slang, it's called chindi chor. You're stealing rags. He is that service which we get. And when the opportunity comes to serve, please jump at it. In Swaminarayan Mandir, Madhupati Prabhu was telling me, there is a 1 year waiting list for volunteers. Can you imagine 1 year waiting list? So if you want to volunteer to do some seva, there is a roster which has a 1 year waiting list. That is the attitude, that is the level of elevation of consciousness. Because yes, a higher taste has been developed. Otherwise, we think that, yeah, I'm doing enough. Why isn't he doing? 3 times a day I go to the altar, 3 times a week. That person comes not even once a month. Then we start making all these comparisons, things like that. Not understanding is, Prabhupada has given us priceless gifts, matchless gifts. That's what we should be jumping at, these opportunities. Hare Krishna, Prabhus, Matajis. So, if you have any question, any comment, realization, please share it. Otherwise, we can bring this to a close. You know Lord Rama, right? Final note. He killed Ravana. He, arrows he did. So similarly, we have Mahamantra. And Mahamantra is this sound arrow. And arrows are shot through the bow. So this lip is the bow. And a tongue is the bowstring, which releases these arrows. Pronunciation is that grip. Attention to hearing the sound is that aim. Siaram is the archer. And all the anarthas which we have in us are these multi-headed demon, Ravan. एक जाएगा दूसरा ऊपर आता है, एक जाएगा दूसरा ऊपर आता है. It's almost as though it's a losing battle. But if we can do this Mahamantra, then easily, Ram can easily vanquish Ravan. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, everybody. Is Dev on the call? No, I don't think so. Either Dev or Om. Very good. Over to you, Simeshwar Prabhu. Since no question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Punam. But your last slice is very, very beautiful, Prabhu. You compare everything a perfect way. So please share these particular slides to us so we can remember. Thank you, Prabhu.
I'm not very technical. I'll send you the whole PowerPoint, and then you can do the slice and dice.
Okay,
or
Prabhu.
I'll send you the PowerPoint, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Very, very nicely you explain everything. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, everyone.
Kind words. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Humble obeisance. I really liked your class today, and especially the last slide. So just wanted to share one thing which I recently heard related to this last slide. So in one of the, I don't know which chapter it is in Bhagavad Gita, but it says that, I think it's 11th chapter, I'm not sure. But Krishna says that, from amongst the yagyas, he is the japa yagya. So that means like how we are saying, like, I think it's kind of like the similar analogy that you've presented in the slide. That what we're speaking is we are actually putting the mantra as the offering, and that whole analogy was there. So I really like the way you also put it, and that was something that I wanted to share. I don't have the correct details, and I feel really, really worried, nervous to put this up in front of you, but just wanted to share that.
See, Mataji, as long as the intention is to learn, please, there is no such thing as a silly question. Typically, what happens is in a public forum, all of us, we have the fear of being judged. That's the basic human psyche. We have the fear of being judged. And if you look at it, why am I frightened of being judged? Is because I myself have some kind of an understanding of who I am. So I have a pedestal, however big or however small it be. Correct? And I feel that, if I make a fool of myself, this question seems to be too obvious, or it'll show my ignorance. That pedestal is getting shaken. That's what happening. And people are going, in reality, no one judges. And of course, there are people who judge, but they're petty-minded. It doesn't matter what they think anyway. So as long as the mood is to learn, to find out, the genuine inquisitiveness, the genuine curiosity, then there's absolutely, whether it is in the spiritual sangha, whether it is a professional, academics, wherever, doesn't mean. Ask in a polite way, ask in the mood to learn rather than challenge. If we challenge means so band ho gaya, right? Then you prove to me, like that. So please do not, and everybody else, thank you for bringing it up. Who's this? I'm sorry.
This is Lata. Hare
Lata.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you for bringing it up. And, at least this, I'm very, very fortunate. I've had great mentors at a very early age. So share it, share what we know. And in sharing, we grow. Mataji, you have $1, okay? I have one. I give you $1, you give me $1. How much are we left with? $1 each. Nothing has changed. The status quo is the same. You have an idea, I have an idea. We share ideas. You walk away with two, I walk away with two. Similarly, here it is said, Acharyas, and in the Shastras it says the significance of asking questions. It benefits the guy who asks the question, Prabhu or Mataji, because the person's doubt is cleared, right? It benefits the audience who listened to it. They may not have thought about what it was. It's like this. Okay, I get it. So the audience at large also benefits. And the speaker, when he's speaking and sharing, he or her, it benefits them also. So it is not just win-win, it is win-win-win. And most importantly, Krishna is so happy. Bhagavad Gita says 4 kinds of people come to me. Out of that, one is the person who's curious, inquisitive. So Krishna consciousness, don't surrender with intelligence. Don't surrender your intelligence, surrender with intelligence. How will you surrender with intelligence? It is not like Nandi Bell. When we were in school, youngsters, before the results would come out, there was that guy who used to come with the drum, right? If you remember, boogu, 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 he used to do. And he used to have a bull with him. And then he would ask, pass hoega, and the bull would either nod his head or it would do this, no, like this. So we are not like that. We have to ask questions. Ask. The more questions ask, the better a grasp of the subject. Otherwise, it's casual. It is like mental. It feels good. Thank you for that. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, probably I'll frame my questions a little better next time. But the class was good, definitely. In the morning also, like you mentioned, similar, things about how what qualities can we take from Ram. So I really like that. Throughout the day, I was thinking about it. And again, I had this pleasure of listening to you again with this class. It was really, really helpful. Thank you, Prabhuji.
All credit to Radha Shyam Prabhu. So many on this forum itself, Mataji. There are so many speakers. I don't know if you yesterday and Kalandi Mataji, how well
she is amazing.
How well she explained, even the doubts, questions, something which is, like deeply philosophical, it appears, and then such a simple answer. So that's why this is the benefit of Sangha. Please join whenever you have a time. Slowly, it will become a habit and you'll feel uneasy if you don't join. We have one Mataji who joins from India. Madhurya Leela Mata has gone to India. She's serving the Barsana Eye Camp. She's a doctor. So she's over there. And she joins in the morning, she joins in the evening. Evening is early morning over there. She joins. So taste develop hote hain. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Jai. Oh, I see Ved has joined. Deepal Mataji is online. I don't know if he has gone to sleep.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for class. I genuinely always appreciate how you merge Vedanta and the Shastra with the modern world, and especially today, bringing in other parts. I had a conversation with someone today about how Bhagavad Gita will just make you more devoted at whatever it is, the path that you're aligning with. My question is, in one of the final slides, you were talking about service. And in bhakti, we know that the quintessential is to be in service. And I've found myself pondering, when you have service opportunities and they're there, life is so joyous. It's so purposeful. Not for myself anyway, not from a feeling of I'm great, but from a feeling of seeing the impact that something has on another individual's life. But it seems, for me anyway, that those opportunities kind of ebb and flow, where there's a lot of them, and then there's not so much of them. And I wonder at times, in my own self-doubt, is it I wasn't being a good enough devotee? That's why the service opportunities have gone away, or am I not pursuing them enough? And so I suppose my question would be if you have any input on that, and how to navigate the times that come around where there aren't as many opportunities for service, knowing that even the smallest thing of picking up a napkin that's everybody's walking past on the, and the floor, excuse me, on Sunday night prasadam, just picking up that napkin is being in service. Just smiling at someone else is being in service. Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Mataji, you raise a very important point, and it happens in everyone's life. It is many people say, oh, with great pride, they say, I've always led a straight life. I've always led a straight life. Straight life? Life is full of ups and downs, zigs and zags. So what straight life are we talking about? Yeah. Straight life is when you really want to do is stay with the principle. So service, as you rightly said, Mataji, if you look at it, the categories of service, there are the, how you have at work, they call it the graveyard shift, correct? And there is the high visibility service and everything in between. So on the altar, decorating the deities to cleaning the toilets over there, right? For Krishna, whether it is cleaning the toilet, whether it is the deity, what he actually looks at is our intention. Kitna bhav, how much, with what feelings, with what emotions are we doing it? Of course, initially it is mechanical because we need to be disciplined, but then gradually it becomes. Now, the other thing what I'd like to share with you is there was a great poet called John Milton, and he lost his eyesight. He wasn't born blind, so imagine you lose your eyesight, you're blind. And he was a very devout person and he used to engage in different levels of um, services. But now being blind physically, it's a big impediment. He wasn't able to do the things which he used to do earlier. So he wrote a poem, actually a massive work. It was called Paradise Lost, when he lost his eyesight. And then again, his realizations in blindness, paradise regained. So paradise lost and paradise regained. And there was one line which really struck deep, deep, deep with me. And that same line, Mataji, is the essence of our bhakti principle. And John Milton wrote, I don't know the exact stanza, but the line which struck out was, they also serve who stand and wait. They also serve who stand and wait. So I'm having this desire, hey, Krishna, I want to serve you. There may be a situation where you're ill. There may be a situation where your child is ill. There may be a situation where there is so much just falls on you altogether, correct? So, but still you have that desire to serve. Krishna makes the arrangement. Bhakti Tirth Maharaj says that when the desire to serve, exceeds one capacity and capabilities, but still somehow or the other you're endeavoring to do it, that's when divine empowerment happens. Krishna is Bhavagrahi, Janardana Bhavagrahi. Bhava. He's the one who looks at our bhava. So yes, Mataji, these things will be ups and downs and left, right, forward, backward, all these things. That's the nature of this material world. But please look at it as the opportunity. Please look at it as a test of our faith test of our enthusiasm. And diamond becomes a diamond, gold becomes a diamond only when it is under pressure. Years and years and years of intense pressure, that's when it becomes a diamond. So if everything is easy, we'll start taking things cheaply. And the more difficult it is, the more we taraste hain, more we yearn for Krishna. Hare Krishna. I hope it answers your question.
Hare Krishna. Yes. The concept of service is so easily understood as being making a flower garland or giving class, dressing the deity, cleaning the floors. For me, I feel I have mercy to experience a very palpable being used as a conduit to speak to other people in like very small, intimate, one-on-one conversations and interactions. And it's so deeply steeped in being a conduit for Krishna that, as you're saying, when that's not happening as much, the ego says, I've fallen. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough anymore. That's why it's not happening. But the longing for that, I guess in many ways, is equally as sweet and equally as important as when you're actually walking in that space. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare
Bol Dipal Mata.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna. My question was, does Bhagwan judge a person's seva, or does he doesn't judge, but he accepts equally? I was curious, is there a good type of seva or a bad type of seva, or is there no type of bad seva or good seva?
Excellent. For all of you, this is our dear Ved, one of the students from our Sunday school. Ved, how old are you? 9, 10, right?
10.
Ved is a 10-year-old boy. Mahatma Ved. Very nice question. So is there a good seva or is there a bad seva? Now, there are different types of seva, but all types of seva are good. Now, I'll share with you what my Guru Maharaj, one of the instructions he had given. Now, sometimes we like to do a particular type of a seva is because we are individuals and we like certain things. All of us have likes and dislikes, correct? So even Krishna has likes. Krishna loves butter. Yeah. So that's who we are. That's our individuality. And then we get into Hare Krishna, we learn all this and we start doing seva. So me personally, I love kirtan. I love music. I just love music. And I just love, and my kirtan, I like it to be rip-roaring and dancing and stuff like that. Because it would give me joy. It would give me joy. And somehow I used to feel guilty that actually seva is meant for the pleasure of Krishna. And though this is a devotional act I'm engaging in, it's still for me, for my this. So I asked Guru Maharaj what to do. This is the situation. So he says, yes, seva is for the pleasure of Krishna. Whatever we do, that should be our mood. That should be our mentality. Seva is for the pleasure of Krishna. But because it is a devotional act, gradually it will take away this propensity that we have for sense gratification. But we should be conscious. Remember that we should be conscious. I cannot just be sitting and, I'll keep enjoying. So what we have to do is we just have to pray that, hey, Krishna, please, whatever is this thing, get it out of me and let it be as a selfless service to you. So there are different types of seva. There is the different level of intensity of that emotion and feelings with which we get engaged with Krishna. So there are some which is absolutely pure, 100% fully absorbed, like Prabhupada and so many of our acharyas and gurus and the Vaishnavas, fully engaged. There's absolutely no tinge is there. Yeah, that is one level. And there is some level where it is, it could be mixed at times here, at times for Krishna, it's mixed. And there are times where it's fully for myself. I like to sing because when I sing, everyone will say, "Oh, Prabhu, you sang so well. What lovely kirtan. Oh, very good, very good." But because all of these come under the category of devotional service, the level of progress, when we talk about progress, is the cleansing of the consciousness, the elevation of the consciousness. It is proportionate to the intensity with which we engage in our seva, not the quantity. Because once the intensity comes, the taste comes, the quantity then becomes non-stop, 24/7. So seva is seva. And for us, we should always appreciate, no matter how little or no matter how much, no matter whether it is a failure, the end result, or no matter it's a great success. We should always, always, always be grateful and appreciative of what somebody else is doing, no matter what his or her condition is. We are not one here to sit and say that, oh, it is mixed, oh, it is self-driven, oh, it is pure for Krishna. Nah. So that way, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. I would like to add one thing though, that this is why I hate when I dislike when people give credit to me, because I feel I didn't deserve it, because I've done a lot of bad things in my life which Bhagwan would not have liked. So I feel I do not deserve this credit that these devotees are so graciously giving me.
That's a good mood to have. But even accepting praise graciously is a kind of humility. You get it? Because we have to be very, very, very vigilant that Maya doesn't slip in. And, though it may seem that, oh, no, it's not me. We should actually feel. We should actually feel that there is no. And when you actually start feeling, so it's a good thought to have, Ved. And please develop this. It's a good thought to have. Best way is whenever someone gives you a praise, there is, I don't know if you know Akhilesh Prabhu. I remember quite some time back, maybe a couple of years ago, he gave a class and it was a fantastic class. So I called him after the class and I said, Akhilesh Prabhu, it was fantastic what you did. And he said such a nice thing. He's saying, Prabhu, your words, I take it as a blessing. So that praise which was there, he says, I take it as a blessing. It's not me who's doing it. So one way is when we receive the praise, offer it to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara, and all the way to Guru and Gauranga. That is one thing. But at the same time, be vigilant that it doesn't become just lip service. We have to actually feel. And the benchmark of knowing whether we are feeling, whether it is becoming lip service, is because if I feel I'm the most of nothing, then I want to do something more and more about it. If I'm happy, I'm the most of nothing, then it becomes a nice excuse to be fat, lazy, and complacent. But if it really triggers, I really need to get myself in shape. I want to serve more. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ved. Thank you.
Deities at 8:30 p.m.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I add something?
You can add many things.
Yeah. Okay. This is specially directed towards Mangala Chitra Devi Dasi. I was really touched by her question. I hope she's still there online. And I just want to narrate an incident which happened to me on the occasion of welcoming Lord Ram, and exactly on the same level as what she was saying. So I was at a temple and I was doing the Rangoli Seva on the steps. I was making Rangoli. And there's one Mataji whom I don't know. I have never met her. I've never seen her. And she comes and tells all the other Matajis who were making Rangolis, okay, stop making your Rangolis and come and have prasad. Breakfast prasadam in the temple is served. So we all went, and after taking the prasad, I didn't know anybody. I said, whom to sit next to? And I just knew her because she was the one who spoke to me, and I went and I sat next to her. And out of no reason, no communication, nothing. In Hindi we say no, na jaan na pehchan, tu mera mehman. Like, I don't know you and you are my guest already. So she asked me a question, and while I was eating, and we just exchanged smiles, that's it. And she asked me a question: do you want to join a teacher's training class where you want to we will teach Matajis how to teach students, children, Bhagavad Gita shlokas? And I looked at her and I was smiling and I said, Mataji, how did you know? I always had this desire within my heart to teach Bhagavad Gita shlokas and to children, but I've never had the time and the opportunity to do it. I was so busy, but this is a deep buried desire in my heart. How did you know? And I will jump at it, but if I have to come so far, I cannot come so far. If it's an online training, I will definitely learn. And she said, yes, it's an online training, blah, blah, blah. She went into the details. But then I asked her, how did you talk to me? Why did you ask me this question? How do you know that I had this desire? She's saying, I have no idea. I just saw you and I felt like asking you. So, and I said, okay, this was a desire deeply buried in my heart and now it has sprouted up. So all I learned from this lesson was just keep a desire and have patience that one day it will sprout. One day it will sprout. So every time I used to see Mataji's training, and even in my temple, I used to always, oh, I want to teach children. I want to teach children. There was always this desire, but it just got fulfilled, like, the budding, it just budded yesterday. So just patience and desire has to be there. Enthusiasm, that's it.
Divine empowerment, BT Swami. A while ago. Very nice. Krishna makes the arrangement.
Yeah, that's what she said. Krishna made the arrangement. I don't know you, but I just saw you and I just put forward this proposal to you. I said, wow.
Very good. Thanks, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we'll bring it to a close. Wow, 8:30, 8:33. Thank you, everybody. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari.
Hari Bol. Wonderful, wonderful class and discussion. Thank you so much, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Sameshwar Prabhu, you there? I think Prabhu is engaged with something else. Okay, devotees, good night. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, lovely class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji.
Vajranath Prabhu, Hari Bol.
Hare Bol, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
I'm trying to shut the Zoom. I don't know how. My PowerPoint is not going off the full screen.
Okay.
See, it doesn't want to leave. Okay, I got it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.